सोनिया जी उनमें ये है, उनकी वो इमेज है, उनके बारे में लोग समझते हैं ऐसे कि शी इज़ अ वेरी फाइन लीडर।
क्या इस वक्त सोनिया गांधी जी का होना और कांग्रेस को गाइड करना बहुत आवश्यक है।
He went on a holiday for 50 days because he is not confused.
Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. It's believed that Rahul Gandhi might return after his 56-day holiday sometime tonight. But rather than a grand welcome, what awaits him could be the beginning of an escalating revolt against his leadership. Several top congressmen and women have voiced concern about his abilities, whilst unequivocally reiterating their loyalty and support to Sonia Gandhi. So what should we make of these comments, and where do they leave Rahul Gandhi's political future? My guests are the well-known Asian Age columnist Ashok Malik, the highly regarded columnist and commentator Kumar Ketkar, former Minister, Congress MP and Gandhi family loyalist Mani Shankar Iyer, and the former Minister of State in the Home Ministry, RPN Singh. Ashok Malik, in recent days, there have been a spate of senior Congress leaders who, whilst declaring their loyalty to Sonia Gandhi, have either directly or by implication questioned whether Rahul Gandhi is fit to be party president, and they've even wondered whether this elevation should not be postponed by several years. This list includes Amarinder Singh, Sheila Dikshit and Sandeep Dikshit, but many have interpreted comments by Veerappa Moily, Ambika Soni and Gurudas Kamath to be equally saying something very similar. So let me start with a simple, straightforward question. What does all of this suggest to you? What does it add up to?
Karan, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi disappeared for 2 months, and let's admit that his disappearance has been deeply embarrassing for the Congress, they have been at 6s and 7s trying to explain it. But when he did disappear, senior Congress leaders, including some who spoke to me, said this was part of a well-calculated strategy to bargain for more space, to allow him to revamp the Congress, to take over from his mother in April. Now, that hasn't happened. Either that was a big fib and there was no such plan, or Mr. Gandhi hasn't got his way in the party and is not going to be able to take over with the smoothness with which he may have wanted. Either way, it has embarrassed the Congress, and with Sonia Gandhi back taking to the streets, in a sense, by marching against the land acquisition bill, which was a landmark bill for the UPA government, that the NDA government wants to amend, many in the Congress are wondering if Mr. Rahul Gandhi's long-term plans include the elections in the near future in any case, or include their own out of merit to their immediate future, or out of relevance to putting together a coalition against the BJP, which is what the Congress needs to do.
You know,
and they seem to have more faith in his mother than in him.
Kumar Ketkar, would you accept that Rahul Gandhi's mysterious disappearance for 56 days, his inability to enthuse the country with his campaigning, and thirdly, his poor performance in Parliament and also sadly in interviews, has created doubts about his political capacity as well as his ability to be leader of a political party? Would you accept that?
Well, actually, I think there is a big struggle going on in the Congress party, and that essentially is how much to change and when to change and whom to change. Remember, every time Congress got rejuvenated when it was actually split on various lines. In 1907, when Tilak was in charge, at that time also it got split with Gokhale and Tilak. Again in 1969, actually in between also when Bose and Gandhi deferred. In 1969 when Indira deferred. So on. Congress has been continuously fighting with itself on the question of new generation leadership and the old generation leadership. Now, I think the older generation, which can be called a new syndicate, is apparently mobilizing itself around Sonia Gandhi, and the sort of young Turks or the new generation wants to have Rahul Gandhi. I think there is this struggle going on. It is not generational struggle. It is not even an ideological struggle, because Sonia and Rahul share the same ideology. I think it is an approach, organizational, tactical struggle, and that is inevitable. I personally welcome such struggles, because without which rejuvenation of the party is not possible.
Mani Shankar Iyer, you have two very interesting answers that I am going to put to you. Ashok Malik, who believes that in fact Rahul Gandhi has failed to show the talent that's necessary to be a party political leader. Kumar Ketkar, who believes this is yet another one of those periodic splits that has afflicted the Congress party in its history. Neither, I put it to you, is a very reassuring explanation of the troubles your party is going through. How do you respond to them?
I have no problem with any of these statements. The fact of the matter is that the Congress worker is not an automaton, as the media frequently attempts to portray it. And if the media is sometimes kind to us, the opposition loves to portray us as sheep who do not know their own minds and simply follow the leader or the shepherdess, as the case may be. Now, this has never been true of the Congress, and therefore what is true of the Congress is an internal dialectic. And that internal dialectic is partially playing itself out in public now. It doesn't surprise me. In fact, it doesn't depress me either.
Can I
It enthuses me to think that people can have different points of view within the party, and that it is a result of this dialectic that we will arrive at a synthesis in due course. I don't see it as a
Can I
split
interrupt
in
you
the
there?
party.
You know, the problem is you began by saying you have no problem with the explanation, interpretation given by Ashok Malik, but what Ashok Malik was actually saying, and he said it in so many words, is that Rahul Gandhi doesn't have the qualities to be leader of the party, and many people who are today speaking out and affirming loyalty to Sonia are doing it because they want to prevent Rahul Gandhi becoming president of Congress. They fear that that would destroy Congress, and you say you have no problem with that.
And a much, much larger number of Congress workers are completely happy with Rahul Gandhi and would be quite happy to see him take on his former responsibilities or additional responsibilities. For us, there isn't a conflict between mother and son. What we see is that there are points of view that are being expressed in public that were always being expressed within the party, and a very, very large amount or share of the Congress voices is quite ready to accept whatever decision mother and son arrive at, provided mother and son are both available to the party.
Ashok Malik, there's a very interesting underlying point made there by Mani Shankar Iyer, which is an implicit acceptance that there is some sort of split. He doesn't accept it's an equal split. The majority, he believes, in fact, want Rahul, but he accepts there is a minority that is very concerned about Rahul. Now, what I want to put to you is this. Do you see that split in the way Kumar Ketkar spoke of it a moment ago? A split between an old guard who believe that they could be squeezed out and therefore they are affirming loyalty to Sonia and they want her to continue, and a new young Turk brigade who see themselves as Rahul's loyalists and their future tied to Rahul. Do you see it in those terms, or do you see it in different terms?
I'm not quite sure, because the split in the Congress under Gokhale and Tilak was a split between the moderates and the extremists, as they were called then. The split of '69 was between a left-leaning Indira Gandhi with a more conservative syndicate, which had a more conservative economic policy. Here, as Kumar Ketkar very correctly said, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi don't really differ in terms of their approach to politics or to economic policy or social policy. The difference is in leadership capacity. While I'm no great fan of Sonia Gandhi, the fact is she demonstrates greater capacity to lead her party than Rahul Gandhi does. Rahul Gandhi has spent the past 10 years in analysis, debate, discussion, all the words that Mani Shankar Iyer used. But to what end? Let's get down to specifics. Look at Punjab, for instance, where under Amrinder Singh, the Congress has a reasonable chance. And Amrinder Singh sees Rahul Gandhi as trying to edge him out of the Congress and perhaps splitting the Congress in Punjab, which will make things much more difficult for his party in Punjab. So when it comes to specific political calls, Congress Congress leaders seem to have more faith in Sonia Gandhi than they do in Rahul. I'm not saying anything that is a state secret. Everyone in Delhi knows that.
Kumar Ketkar, let me, in a sense, question your interpretation in terms of a not generational split, but a split over organization between an old guard and young Turk by putting this to you. When Sonia Gandhi led 14 opposition parties up Raisina Hill and established herself on the issue of the land acquisition amendment as the unanimous leader of the opposition, many in Congress said to themselves, if Rahul had been party president at that point of time, this would not have been the outcome. political parties would not have so readily, willingly have fallen in line behind him as they did behind Sonia. And in a sense, that pointed out Rahul's inadequacies and weaknesses and the fact that he doesn't impress the rest of the opposition, whereas Sonia does. Don't you think that's what lies behind this desperate desire expressed by some to keep Sonia as president and to delay by a couple of years at least Rahul taking over?
Actually, his ifs and buts are not actually fully convincing, because in 1998 when Sonia Gandhi came as a president of the party, she did not win enough number of seats. Actually, she was miserably failing continuously in 1998 and 1999 and following many assembly elections. So all this sudden discovery of Sonia Gandhi's extraordinary leadership qualities,
there was no alternative at the time. Sitaram Keshri had failed Congress. Narasimha Rao was not a possibility any longer. Here, there is an alternative to Rahul, a very successful lady, his mother.
1999, I am referring to 98-99, she, under her leadership, election was fought in 1999, the famous 273, and nothing happened in 1999 October when the elections came in. Sonia Gandhi failed, and in fact she was ridiculed. And suddenly this discovery of her leadership qualities is post 2004. And this so-called 14-party alliance which went to Rashtrapati Bhavan, I don't think that is a big deal in uniting the opposition. The real unity of the opposition came under Sonia Gandhi in 2004, but again the seat number was only 145, 7 seats more than the BJP. BJP had 138. A little flip, and BJP could have come to power. So I don't believe this extraordinary quality being attributed to Sonia vis-a-vis Rahul. So I think Rahul is also under trial. Sonia was under trial. Sonia displayed extraordinary courage and conviction between 2004 and later. And now that she is in the dumps, suddenly people are discovering that she is a great leader and Rahul is not. But Rahul has not been even adequately tried except in 3-4 elections. I don't know whether Rahul is a good leader or not. But I will not rule him out just because he has failed in some state elections. Sonia Gandhi failed in national elections twice.
Let me put a different point to Mani Shankaraya, and the point is this: you're suggesting that the vast majority have no problem with Rahul, but in Punjab, a state that you hope to win and where, as Ashok Malik said, your best chance is under Amarinder Singh's leadership, 33 of 43 Congress MLAs support Amarinder Singh's position. That not only suggests that he has very strong support from congressmen in his state, but it also suggests that this could be an escalating movement of people who will slowly come out and declare their colours behind Amarinder Singh and therefore against Rahul taking over.
I think that's where your logic goes wrong. To be for Amarinder Singh is not to be against Rahul Gandhi. And I think this is a completely false dichotomy.
Amarinder Singh himself said he doesn't think Rahul should take over.
Amarinder Singh has advocated the need for the continuation of Sonia Gandhi and not the expulsion of Rahul Gandhi.
No, I'm not talking about expulsion. I'm saying delay Rahul taking over as Congress president for several years. He actually said a man can't hope to become captain after just 10 years in the ship. He's saying Rahul needs more time as vice president, delay the takeover.
That's his view. There are many who have a different view. And it is as a result of the conversation between these two points of view that we'll arrive at a synthesis. After all, this business of denigrating people who are rising in the Congress goes back to Indira Gandhi. They called her a Gungi Gudiya. When Rajiv became the Prime Minister and the President of the party, there were no lack of sneers. When Sonia Gandhi became the President of the party, and I had a great deal to do with her at that time, how we had to work towards establishing her as a credible leader even within the Congress party, let alone the country as a whole. So any new person who steps into the breach is bound to be questioned by the media, but eventually, like all the three examples I've given, I'm sure Rahul will rise to the occasion. Whether he must rise today or could rise a few days later, that's a minor question.
Not days, years. Not days, years. Several years later, not days.
It may be a year. So what? So what? There is simply no doubt that Sonia Gandhi will stay as the president of the party as long as she wishes, and that Rahul will take over from her.
All right,
so we know
that is
so
a beautifully phrased
it makes
answer,
no great difference
which
to
makes
us,
it perfectly
whether it's done in a
acceptable
few
for
days
Sonia
or
Gandhi
a few
to
months
delay
or a few
the
years.
transition. As you said, she can stay as party president for as long as she wishes. Let me put something to you that is the opposite of the argument you've been making, Ashok Malik. The truth is, maybe many of the people who've spoken out wanting Rahul not to take over immediately actually have axes of their own to grind. For instance, Amarinder Singh is angry that Bajwa is party president, he's not. Sheila Dixit and Sandeep Dixit are undoubtedly upset that Ajay Makan, who they've seen as a rival, is the new party president in Delhi. So doesn't the criticism, if that's the right word, or the reservations they've expressed about Rahul taking over and their cemented loyalty to Sonia actually express their personal angst and anguish rather than any wider concern about the leadership of the party?
You know, the two are not sort of mutually exclusive. Yes, a lot of people who are close to Sonia Gandhi, who've been part of her coterie or her team, as it were, over the past 10 or 12 years or 15 years, would obviously be displaced and, if Rahul were to take over and bring in a new lot, perhaps a younger lot of politicians. And yes, they are concerned. They don't want their gravy train to essentially stop running, and they want Sonia Gandhi to stay on as long as possible. There is certainly much of that. I'm not denying that. But there is also a genuine befuddlement and concern in the Congress about the quality of leadership that Rahul provides, and about specific and immediate political calls that he's taken that have not paid off. For instance, the social coalition he sought to build in UP in 2012, that failed spectacularly. The left turn he's indicating, the sharp left turn he's indicating the Congress should continue taking, and whether that is going to make the Congress any more electable. Mr. Mani Shankar Iyer may disagree, others may disagree, but many do have that concern. Because the Congress at its best has been a very centrist party with just that right balance between right and left. And perhaps Mr. Gandhi is in danger of losing that, or has not quite understood that. These are genuine concerns which people in the Congress are voicing. And I'm not inventing them. The media is not inventing them. They are being voiced. And not just by people who are worried about their jobs being lost if Sonia Gandhi moves away.
You know, Kumar Ketkar, you wanted to see the differences in Congress in terms of organizational shifts and changes taking place, old guards and new young Turks. But there is a point, and whether Sheila Dixit admits she made it or whether PTI, she claims, has made it up on her behalf, but it is a point that's very telling. She said Sonia Gandhi never ran away from her responsibilities once she embraced them in 1998. On the other hand, there's a lot of question mark and skepticism about Rahul simply because people haven't seen him perform and deliver. That is the truth that stares congressmen in the face, and when they see the possibility that Rahul could be taking over sometime in the near future, it's a truth that worries them.
Well, actually, Ashok is right when he says that media is not inventing the so-called allegations against Rahul Gandhi and his leadership qualities. Media is only echoing what many of the congressmen are saying either in private or in public, but that is not the issue. I remember an interesting observation of Indira Gandhi about herself. She had said that I am in a unique position of being anti-establishment, and yet I am part of the establishment as a Prime Minister and Congress President. And that's what she was dealing with when syndicate fight began, after she became President, after nailing of Patri out. So being in establishment and being anti-establishment was simultaneous for Indira Gandhi. Same thing in a different context for Sonia Gandhi. Sonia Gandhi has proved to be a perfect rebel.
But you're not answering the point I made to you.
When it comes to
You've gone off on a tangent, forgive me.
Politics,
you've gone off on a tangent.
When it comes to organizational and economic politics, she has been status quoist.
Yes, but you've gone off on a tangent, Mr. Ketkar.
With the status quoism, not of Sonia, but of the Congress party.
All right. You don't want to answer the point I made. The point I made was a little different one. Let me put it to Mani Shankar Iyer instead. Mani Shankar Iyer, I want to make that same point to you. Unfortunately, Mr. Ketkar didn't quite answer it. Sheila Dixit is reported to have said, though she disputes it, that Sonia Gandhi never ran away from her responsibilities once she embraced them in 1998. Rahul Gandhi, on the other hand, has huge question marks and skepticism about his abilities simply because he's never performed and delivered. And that is a fear that stares congressmen, and that's why Many want to postpone as much as they can the day when Rahul replaces Sonia at the top of the party.
When you say many, I don't know where you've taken the poll. Yes, there would be many who would prefer the status quo. Equally, there would be many who would believe that in the present circumstances is the right time to effect changes. And what we'll eventually do is to have a combination of continuity and change. And I just don't see how the idea that the fact that somebody says that he's run away from his duties and others say we would like to have him changes the objective situation that our party has once again, as it has over the last 130 years, to face the challenge of continuity and change. And an effective compromise between the two will be made.
I'm going to end this particular show by complimenting you and saying that you're not a diplomat for nothing. You answered my question very cleverly. You didn't dispute the fact that there are people who are concerned about Rahul taking over. You simply questioned my use of the word many. By implication, you accepted there are few. You simply disputed that there are many, and I have to applaud you for that very deft handling of my question. I think it's a lesson that many politicians will probably usefully learn from you, and I think it's something us journalists can learn as well. My thanks to all my guests for joining me, and my apologies that RPN Singh wasn't able to join us. I'm afraid we had a few problems with technology and getting the OB there functioning on time. If you have been, thanks for watching. Goodbye.